Welcome to the Jim Florentine Comedy Metal Midgets podcast on riotcast.com. A couple of tour dates coming up. March 7th, I'll be at the Treehouse Comedy Club in Westport, Connecticut. March 20, State Theater, Falls Church, Virginia, with Don Jameson and Eddie Trunk from that metal show. March 21, World Cafe, Wilmington, Delaware, with Don Jameson and Eddie Trunk. And then I rescheduled these dates at the Funny Bone in Syracuse. I was supposed to be doing it at the end of February. Now I'll be doing it March 26 through 29, a Funny Bone in Syracuse, New York. April 1st, B.B. King's in New York City with Don Jameson and Eddie Trunk. And this Thursday, February, I don't know what the date it is, February 27th, I'm going to be on Gotham Live, it's called. It's a show on Access TV. February 26th, 10 p.m. It's a live comedy show I'll be hosting. I'm doing like 10 minutes up front and bringing up a bunch of comedians. So if you have Access TV, this Thursday, February 26th, I'll be hosting Gotham Live. So, yeah, whatever. Check it out if you can. I mentioned a few times on podcasts about a mailing list. If you guys want to join my mailing list, go to comedymetalmidgets@gmail.com. But you have to put where you're from, what state. So I know I could put that in a little folder, and when I'm coming to that state, I could send you an email saying I'm coming, because people just sign up for the mailing list, and then I don't know where the fuck they live. And I'm not going to send out an email to everyone on that mailing list if I'm playing in Tennessee. There's no reason for that. So if you sign up, just put where you're from, the state, city, state, whatever, and then they'll work out. And, anything, Facebook posts. You know what I'm running low on is awful slang words. If you see some more slang words out there, I'm ready to do another podcast. I just don't think I have enough, because we've done a bunch of them. So if you see any awful slang words out there, please send that email address, comedymetalmidgets@gmail.com. And, any other suggestions for podcasts, send all your shit there, whatever you got. You know what I mean? I have a YouTube channel. It's Jim Florentine on YouTube. If you can't find it, there's Jim Florentine shit all over the place on YouTube. I just started looking at it. Just go to my website and then click on the YouTube channel from there and subscribe to it. I have a new series. I'm doing this thing called Disgruntled Waiter, where I'm waiting on people and just berating them. And I post a bunch of different shit up there, so check it out if you can, whatever. I don't know. I'm not good at plugging this shit. But, on Amazon.com, I haven't plugged them in a while. If you're going to shop, go to Amazon.com. Go to my website, click on the Amazon button there, and shop from there. It helps fund the podcast. And also, if you need new earbuds for your fucking whatever device you have, tweakedaudio.com. Go to tweakedaudio.com, pick out some earbuds, and put in the promo code midgets. Is that what it is? I think it is. And you'll get 33% off your order. All right, tweakedaudio.com. All right. Enough of this shit. Is that all I got? Yeah. All right, this week's podcast is going to be, got everything. All right, this week's podcast is going to be just concerts that I've gone to. I know I did one about like what we do at concerts, how we sneak in and do all that shit, but this one will actually be shows, because new season of that metal show I work on, it's on a channel called VH1 Classic. Here in the States, got a lot of people listen outside the States. It's a talk show. It's basically like the Tonight Show for AC/DC fans. If you don't have VH1 Classic, which, about 65% of the country doesn't, you can watch it at VH1.com. I guess you can watch the episodes up there. They put them up like the next day. We have new episodes every Saturday at 9 p.m. on VH1 Classic, but check them out online if you're a hard rock fan. And our season, a new season just started. I've been on the air for 7 years doing this shit. I don't do too much metal in my podcast, but I figured, tell some good concert stories, some crazy shit that went down. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, check out that metal show, whatever. Pays the bills. It's beautiful. I'm a big metalhead too. I started, I've done podcasts before where you guys, there's no way I admitted on a podcast I didn't masturbate till I was 21. I didn't get laid till a month before my 18th birthday. I think I only had 2 chicks by the time I was like 22. And you're like, there's no way. Yes, there is a way, because I was into pro wrestling from the age of like 9 to 14 or 15. And then I got into heavy metal at maybe at age 12, and I've been into it ever since. So when you're into pro wrestling and heavy metal as a kid, you're not getting laid. No chicks want any part of you. They don't give a shit when you go to the high school party and you're trying to, that's all you want to talk about, and you go up to the hot chick that's dancing, go, can you believe Slayer is fighting the two guys? They might break up. They don't want to hear that. They just walk away from him. Get this guy away. Get him out of the party. He's a fucking weirdo and a creep. When I would show up at house parties with an Ozzy Osbourne Blizzard of Oz t-shirt, nobody wanted to talk to me. Everybody's like, what the hell is that? That's weird. So that's why I was a late bloomer in that department and all of that stuff. But, I had two older brothers that were about 5 years and 3 years older than me that started, listening to heavy metal, and I would just drive around in a car in the back seat. They'd be in the front and then just cranking metal and hard rock, and that's how I get into it. I had no choice. Probably started around 10 maybe. Ted Nugent, AC/DC, Aerosmith, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. Some Skinner, Stones were thrown in there too. And then I just, went full. Once I hit high school, like 15, 16, that's it. I was just, that was my whole life, is listening to heavy metal. But yeah, I remember my first concert. I was 14 years old. My brother was going to see, took me to see Black Sabbath and Van Halen at Madison Square Garden. And everybody used to smoke pot at concerts. The whole fucking place would just light up joints and just pass them to strangers. You'd pass it down your whole row. Everybody take a hit, pass it back. No big deal. Not a problem. Security guards, bouncers, everybody else standing right there. They didn't give a shit. Everybody getting high. I'm 14 years old. There's passing joints and I'm smoking it. Smoking a fucking bowl. Anything. Completely stoned out of my mind at 14. Make sure I got the Visine and the Banaka. Banaka was a spray you spray in your mouth. So, you had fresh breath. And the Visine you needed for the smoke to clear the red out of your eyes. And, my brother's like, look, so you can smoke pot, but just make sure you're all cleaned up by the time we get you home. We did. It was beautiful. Smoking pot at 14. Why? If I know my son's smoking pot at 14, I'll fucking go crazy. Me, I'm like, whatever. I stopped at 17 pretty much. It didn't do anything for me, just made me paranoid and tired. From 14 to 17, I smoked a lot of pot. Me and my buddy Tony would just buy like a big bag of weed, go in the bushes by his house, smoke a bunch of weed, and then go in his house and just get snacks and bring them upstairs and just fucking laugh for like 4 hours, crank metal. And we did that and look at dirty magazines. We'd walk to the 7-Eleven, like 2 miles, stoned, buy like Hustler magazine and go home and look at it. I'm surprised we didn't jerk each other off. I'm really surprised. But so I had a 3-year run of smoking pot, and then at like 17, I was like, this isn't doing anything for me anymore, so I just stopped. I've maybe smoked one full fucking joint, if you want to put it that way, since I was 17 years old. But I grew up in Old Bridge, New Jersey, and that was a place where this guy, Johnny Z was his name, had this a record store called Rock and Roll Heaven. It was at a flea market. And he'd have all these like import heavy metal records from England and from Europe all over the place. And so we get our paycheck on Friday. I was like a dishwasher. And then as soon as I got my check, me and my buddies would go right to his flea market, and whatever new record came out, we'd buy. And I'll never forget being, I don't know, I guess 17, and about probably 18 years old. He's like, he had this cassette of this band Metallica, No Life Till Leather was called. He's like, you got to listen to this thing, man. This is going to be the next big band. I'm going to manage these guys. I'm like, he goes, they're from San Francisco. He goes, I'm going to bring them on the East Coast. I'm going to have them do a bunch of shows here, and I'm going to build this band. These guys are going to be huge. And I heard this shit. I'm like, I never heard anything like it. It was so fucking fast and heavy compared to what was coming out at the time. And, next thing I know, like a month later, Metallica is staying in Old Bridge, New Jersey at that guy's house. I live like 2 miles from there, and I'm friends with the guy. I'd actually go over his house and hang, listen to new records and shit like that. And I'll never forget the day he called me up. He's like, hey, man, he goes, these guys, they just got a baby, too, him and his wife, this Johnny Z guy. He's like, look, this band Metallica's staying in my house. There's 4 of them. They're sleeping on the floor. They haven't showered in a month. They reek. They're drinking all our booze. We got a little baby here. Can you just take them out anywhere? Take them to the mall, something. We need a break from them. I borrowed my mom's car, a Zephyr. Was that a car? I think it was called a Zephyr. And, because I had like a little shit car and I didn't want to bring him in that. I wanted to be like, oh man, I got a decent car. I was 17, maybe 18. Pick him up at the house, brought him to a flea market and a mall. Walking. That was when Dave Mustaine was still in the band. Mustaine was still in Metallica at the time. I think he got fired maybe like a month later. Walking these guys around the mall. You could tell there was friction. Dave had a few in him. They were pissed, it seemed like. And then Dave was out of the band 3 weeks later. And then, cut to like, I don't know, 25 years later or something like that. I'm touring with Megadeth on tour with him, opening for him, telling Mustaine that. He's like, holy shit. We met when I was in Metallica? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I walked around the mall one time. You were hammered. He's like, sounds like me. So yeah, just hanging. And then they would play like parties. Metallica would play like backyards and shit like that. I probably saw them 10 times before, when their first album was out. It was just a huge metal scene in Old Bridge. This guy would bring in bands, all these bands, Raven, Anvil, Riot, The Rods, all these bands that just put on these shows at like roller skating rinks. They played a strip club, wherever. It didn't matter, man. And Twisted Sister was really big at the time. Twisted Sister was a huge bar band on the East Coast. They would draw like 3,000 people on a Monday night. It was insane how big they would do like 4 1-hour sets. It was crazy. I started seeing Twisted Sister. I think I was 15, maybe 14. I would sneak in a club. The drinking age, I think, was, I don't know what. I guess it was 21. But back then you didn't have to have a picture on your ID. So my brother, who was 5 years older than me, got an extra copy of his driver's license. So I used that. When I was 15, I'm getting in a club saying I'm 20, and then I would go see Twisted Sister as a 15-year-old kid. I'd be drinking beers. They didn't even give a shit. Watching Dee Snider up there with these fucking raps. Dee used to just rap with the crowd for like 10 straight minutes, just tell funny stories, anything that was in the news. He was basically like a comic. That's one of the reasons I got up on stage, because I would watch Dee Snider as a little kid fucking just rapping up there, cursing his head off, making fun of people, picking on the crowd, and just telling funny stories and just laughing. Like, the music was great, and they did a lot of covers, and they did some originals, but you couldn't wait till Dee was going to do one of his raps, and it really influenced me to get up on stage eventually. But it was insane fucking seeing Twisted Sister do 4 1-hour sets as a little kid. I think I was maybe 18 or 19. Me and my buddies went to go see him at a club in Jersey, and we got drunk, of course, and we're driving home on this really dark road, and we got a flat. And we were so fucked up we couldn't fix it. It was pitch black. We had no flashlight. We were drunk. I'm trying to get the tire off, and I can't even see anything. My buddy was trying to pull the tire off. He fell into the woods. There was woods right down the side of the road, so he's laying in the woods, like 10 feet into the woods, just laying. I can't get up. My back. I think I'm paralyzed. All of a sudden, the cop pulls up, and I'm like, oh, shit. And he's like, what's going on here? I'm like, I'm trying to change a flat. And he's like, who's driving this car? And I'm like, my friend. He's like, where? Where is he? I go, he's in the woods over there. And the cop shines the flashlight. I go, he's driving? I'm like, yeah, he just slipped in the woods. He goes, how much did you have to drink? I go, I don't know, a few beers. He goes, are you more sober than him? I go, yeah. He goes, then you drive. How far do you got to go? I go, like 2 miles, 3 miles. He goes, then you drive. I'm like, yeah, we just can't get this tire off. The cop fucking fixed our flat, knowing we were hammered. Said, just drive straight home, and didn't buy, and fixed our flat tire, and then let us drive home. How fucking beautiful is that? Coming home from a Twisted Sister concert, getting a flat. I remember going to, I remember there was a concert at a convention hall in Asbury Park, New Jersey. It was Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. I was probably 15 or 16. And my mom dropped me and my friends off to go see them. It was probably about a half hour from where I live. And then they were coming to pick us up. At the end of the show, they never come into the show. So as soon as we get in there, we're smoking pot, we're smoking cigarettes, we're drinking. 15 years old, didn't matter. And there's like, it's in like a, wait, I'm trying to think how, okay, so what people used to do back in the day, I know it sounds fucking crazy. People used to bring fireworks to concerts and throw like packs of firecrackers, M80s, blockbusters, and just throw them up at the stage or in the crowd. It was insane. It was the thing to do. Everybody fucking fireworks was always going off. Like, how dangerous was that? People just whipping M80s in the front and the fucking down on the floor. People just standing there. So I remember on the encore, Judas Priest encore, I had a smoke bomb. And I lit the smoke bomb and I threw it down the aisle, and fucking people thought it was a fire. People were like running all over, and some guy saw me, and security came over and they're looking to see who did it, and they pointed me out, and I'm trying to deny it. I'm like, it wasn't me. I swear to God, it wasn't me. And they fucking these two security guys just picked me up. I weighed like fucking 90 pounds at the time, and just opened like a side door to the venue and fucking threw me out right into the like basically the street. It was right in front of the venue. They threw me out like a side door. They throw me out. I'm laying there. I look up, and my mother is at my feet, waiting for the concert to be over, which was going to be over in 10 minutes. They slam the door. She goes, "What happened?" I go, "They threw me out." She goes, "Why?" I go, "I don't know." I go, "Somebody threw a smoke bomb, and they blamed it on me, and they threw me out." She's like, "Did you throw it?" I go, "No, I wouldn't. Why would I do that?" She goes, "Well, let's go over and tell on that. Let's go. I'm getting you back in that concert." I go, "No, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's almost over anyway." Meanwhile, I didn't have time to put Visine in my eyes. I didn't have time to put Banaka in my mouth. And my mom's like, "Why are your eyes so red? Are you on something? Are you high?" I'm like, "No, it was the smoke from the smoke bomb. Fucking beautiful. Pulled that one right out of my ass." I was still stoned, still didn't have any time. Yeah, and then like 5 minutes later, my buddies come out and we leave. But I got thrown out of a Judas Priest concert for fucking throwing a smoke bomb. Why? Why did I do that? There's no reason for that. I missed the encore because I was an ass. What was I proving by fucking throwing a smoke bomb down the aisle? Like, who was that fun for? It wasn't like, oh yeah, I did that. Isn't that fucking great? No reason for that. Another time I'm going to see Judas Priest. Me and my buddies are like 7 of us in the car. We got like 2 cases of beer. Everybody's drinking, and I'm driving. I got this shitty car, and we're on the way to the concert. I know we wanted to go in the parking lot like 3 hours before and drink, and I'm rushing, and some guy hit the side of my car. And I just kept driving because I wanted to make it to the concert. He fucking crushed like the side of my car, and I didn't pull over. I just kept driving. The guy caught up to me. His fucking bumper's halfway off. He's like, pull over. I just hit you. And I just rolled down the window and go, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to see Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Your car is all fucked up. I go, sir, I don't give a shit. It was your fault. I don't care what happened to my car. We need to exchange insurance. I go, sir, I'm going to see Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Fuck off. And then I just floored it and did like 80 miles an hour and lost the guy and never heard from him again. And then when I got to the parking lot at the Meadowlands, I was like, holy shit. It was like fucking $1,200 worth of damage that I never got fixed. I'm like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. If I'm into Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, I'm not getting laid. I don't give a fuck if my car's got dents all over it. Which that car, the front passenger seat was so rotted out, the floor, that it was just a big hole there. I always used to put a mat over it in the wintertime to keep the cold out, but it was just a huge hole. You could see the pavement as I'm driving. So when we were driving around drinking beers, whoever had to take a piss would climb into that passenger seat and just piss right outside, right in the hole as I'm driving. It was the piss seat, we called it. Just guys fucking climbing in there. I'm driving. I got feet in my face. They're whipping out their dick and pissing as I'm driving 55 miles an hour. You wonder why I'm fucked up. You wonder why there's so much anger in these podcasts. That was my childhood. And then I got it huge into. All right, no. So I remember I met this band Saxon one time. They're a band out of England, right? They were opening for Rush. I was living down in Florida at the time, 16 years old, and nobody knew who Saxon was except for me and my older brother. We went to go see him. So as soon as they were over, we sort of tour bus out front. We're like, oh shit, we're going to miss Rush, but we really want to meet Saxon. And we know there's not going to be too many people there by their bus. So we just waited by their bus like two fucking groupies. And they eventually came out. There was no fans around. Nobody knew who they were. So we wound up talking to them for like a half hour. All the guys, we got the autographs, everything, pictures. And then they go, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, I don't know. We're going to, I guess, try to go back into the concert. They go, hey, we're staying at the Holiday Inn down the road. You want to go follow us back there, follow the bus back there, and hang out and drink in the lounge? We're like, yeah, I'm fucking 16 years old, and this band Saxon wants to drink with me and my brother, right? We pull up to the Holiday Inn, and we all get in the elevator together. It's the band, me and my brother. I'm 16. I'm fucking nervous. I got no rap. I don't have any rap with chicks. I don't have any rap. All I know is heavy metal and fucking pro wrestling. I'm fucking socially awkward. And there's complete silence in the elevators. We're going up, and I'm nervous. I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the elevator with Saxon. And what do I blurt out? Hey, do they have elevators over in England, too? That's like that deserves to silence like an awful Facebook post. Do they have elevators over in England too? And they all started laughing, and one of the guys was trying to be nice. He goes, yeah, of course. How do you think we get to the floors? Yeah, they call them lifts over there, not elevators. Like, oh, okay, all right. And then there was just another more silence in the elevator for the next 30 seconds as we went to the top floor. And they were probably all thinking, like, what the fuck did we do? Why did we bring these two fucking guys back to drink with? And this fucking asshole kid is asking us if we have elevators in England. What did we get ourselves into? I was obsessed with Ozzy Osbourne. Black Sabbath, Ozzy. Obsessed. When he got fired from Black Sabbath, he started his band, Blizzard of Oz, with Randy Rhoads. And I saw that band 5 times. 5 times I saw him with Randy Rhoads. It was unbelievable, just pure luck. But I'm living down in Florida at the time, and they're playing this place called the Sunrise Musical Theater. It was like 2 miles from my house. They playing there 2 nights in a row, so I didn't go to school for 2 days in a row because I wanted to go to the concert, and I didn't want. What I did is I fucking walked there from my house at like 11 in the morning, a 2-mile walk on a highway, basically, a shoulder of a highway, and just waited out front for the band to show up for like sound check or in case they got there early because I had nothing else going on in my life. I had no friends, no nothing, but I'm like, Ozzy is playing 2 miles from my house. I'm fucking going out front, and I'm waiting for him. And one by one, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3, they'd come out of a taxi to go do a sound check. I met Rudy Sarzo was in the band. Tommy Aldridge was a drummer. Randy Rhoads. Randy, the second day when I was hanging out there again, Randy came. He's like, you're here again? He's like, don't you have school? I'm like, I took off. He's like, oh, cool. Ozzy came out of the fucking taxi 2 times. It was unbelievable. Saw him both nights. Fucking phenomenal. Ozzy would do these record store appearances during the day to promote his record because he was just, he got fired from Black Sabbath. He's trying to restart his career. So I would go to all these record stores. Every day he was doing a different one in a different town. And I would just go there and show up. And I remember I made him write Ozzy on my knuckles in black magic marker because he had Ozzy on his knuckles. And then I had to go to school the next day. And I didn't take a shower for 5 days because I didn't want it to wash off. And when I finally did, I would put a bag over my hand in the shower. And I went to this like real fucking, this Catholic private school where all these rich kids, it was like Beverly Hills 90210. And I was a fucking white trash. My dad put me in that school because I was fucking out of my mind and out of control. He thought that was going to be a better education. I didn't know anyone in there. They were all rich kids driving around fucking daddy's Mercedes and BMWs, and I'm pulling up in a fucking shitty old school Volkswagen with Black Sabbath and AC/DC stickers on. I had long hair. Nobody wanted to be my friend. And I'm walking into school with fucking Ozzy on my knuckles, and nobody had tattoos then. It almost looked like a tattoo, and I was like, the fuck is that? What's on your hand, man? I'm like, Ozzy. And they're like, what's Ozzy? They didn't even know what Ozzy was. I'm like, you don't know Ozzy Osbourne? They're like, no. And I would try to explain it to them, and they would just walk away from me. That was one of the biggest fights I had with my parents because I didn't want to take a shower because I didn't want the Aussie to wash off my fucking fingers and my knuckles. Why? There was another time at Ozzy at an in-store meet and greet, and I go up to him. I had this watch that was all fucking faded. It was shitty fucking gold. It was all rusty and shit. And I used to wear it all the time. And I got up to Ozzy, I go, hey, Ozzy, I got his autograph. I go, Ozzy, I'm a huge fan, man. You know, I love everything you do. He's like, oh, thanks, man, thanks. I go, here, take my watch. And I handed him my watch. He goes, I don't want your watch. I go, nah. I go, look, I'm a big fan. I just want to give you my watch. He goes, I don't want your watch. And I'm like, come on, man. I go, just take my watch. I'm a big fan. He goes, oh, I appreciate you're a big fan. What am I going to do with your watch? I'm like, please, can you just take my watch? He's like, I don't want your watch. I don't want it. And all of a sudden, one of the fucking security guys come over. He goes, move the line, move the line. I go, can you just give this to Ozzy? He's like, I don't want your watch. I don't want your watch. He was fucking cranky. I don't blame him. Why would Ozzy, that's worth millions of dollars, want a fucking watch that maybe was worth $7? It was fucking, like I said, rusty, fucking some shitty, it wasn't even a brand name. What is he going to do with it? Oh, I'm going to wear this watch because this fucking kid gave it to me. What an ass I was. And I was mad at him for a couple days after. I can't believe fucking Ozzy didn't take my watch. What an attitude he has. No, he didn't have an attitude. He's a fucking human being that goes, I don't need this fucking shit. I'm a grown man. What am I going to wear your watch for? Even if it was a Rolex, he probably wouldn't have taken it. Then there was a time later, me and Jim Norton, who's also a huge Ozzy fan, we met him up at MTV. He was doing something at MTV, and we had a friend there that helped us get up there and meet him. And we got pictures with him. We talked to him for a couple minutes, and that wasn't enough. We just kept staring at him. He's like, what, these fucking creeps? All right, what do you want? We didn't want to leave. And then he went to the bathroom, and me and Jim Norton followed him in the bathroom because we wanted to see how big his penis was. It wasn't a gay thing. We just wanted to see what our idol was packing. He went into like the middle urinal, and Jim went on one side and I went on the other. And he looked when we came in there like, holy shit, these guys follow me into the bathroom? What the fuck? And they were both just standing there. We didn't say anything, and we're trying to look over, and he was just hugging the urinal because he knew that these two fucking creeps were trying to take a glance at his mule. And we never got to see it because he was just like, I've been in this situation before. This is fucking, it was the one of the worst things I ever did. I told him that later when I met him, that I tried to look at your penis one time, and he just fucking looked at me, almost like the same look he gave me when I told him when I wanted him to give him my watch. What the fuck is wrong with me? One time, there was never any chicks at these shows. That was the thing. Like I said, you're not going to get laid. You know, in the mid-'80s when Bon Jovi and all the hair metal and shit like that came about, there was a lot more chicks. At Van Halen concerts, there was chicks. But most of these shows, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, no chicks. Maybe 10% in the crowd. But I went to see the Scorpions one time, and I met this chick at the show. It's down in Philadelphia. And somehow I maneuvered to get her on the floor because I had like a floor ticket, and I got her right in the front row because she was a hot chick. And I just got her all the way to the front row. And this is like right before the Scorpions come on, and we're in the front row standing there making out. We're grabbing each other and shit. I'm like, oh, this is fucking unbelievable. She was hot. She had these big tits. I think I'm probably 19 or 20 at the time. Scorpions come out. She's a big Scorpions fan. She's in the front. They're all checking her out. She's like the only chick in the front. I'm like, yeah. We're making out. Then they're like, flash. So she starts flashing the band, and they're like, this fucking, and they're giving me the thumbs up. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm happy she's doing it. The Scorpions are paying attention to me, right? We're making out in between songs, all this stuff. I'm feeling her up right at the concert. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I'm going to get laid. And I got front row for the Scorpions. As soon as the show ends, one of their security guys comes over and goes, hey, the Scorpions want to meet you guys. Backstage, we're like, really? He's like, yep, follow me. So we follow this guy like all the way outside the venue, out by like the buses to like some gate. And we get right to the gate. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to meet the Scorpions. This is so cool. Thank God because of this chick, obviously, And we get to the gate, and all of a sudden she walks through, and the big guy stands in front of me. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm with her. And they go, no, you're not. I go, no, I am. I'm with her. I'm like, no, they said we're both supposed to come back. They go, nope, just her. And I'm like, yeah, but she's with me. They're like, just her. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess her name was like Stacy or something like that. I'm just, Stacy, they won't let me back. And she just looked back for a second and just kept walking. She turned around 1 second, looked at me, and just fucking left me in the dust. And I walked back to my car with a soggy 6, leaking clear stuff because I thought I was going to get laid. And I was mad at the Scorpions for like a year after. And I'm like, fuck them. I wouldn't play them. I wouldn't play any of their records. Whenever someone brought them up, like, fuck those guys. That band sucks. I was mad. What do you think? If I was in their shoes, I would have done the same thing. Why would they want me backstage? They wanted that chick with the big tits. They didn't want nothing to do with. What am I going to do? Can I get your autograph? I love the Animal Magnetism record. Did you? Who sung backup on that one song? Did they want to answer those questions? No. They knew this kid's going to be a fucking disaster. Who gives a fuck who sung backing vocals on a song off of Animal Magnetism? I got a chick with big tits here. We're from Germany. We're in America. We just want to get laid. She probably banged the whole band. I hope she did. It took me a year to get over it that I was mad at the Scorpions. That's how fucked up I was. That was a fucked up way of thinking. I can't believe they did that. If I was in that band, I would have done the same thing. Sorry, dude. Sorry. We don't need you. We don't need you back here. What are you going to do? What are you going to contribute? You're a cock blocker. You're fucking 20 years old. You got zits on your face, and you're a cock blocker. You're not coming back. I went to Woodstock '94. They decided to have like a comedy stage, so there's like 20 comics went up in a bus from New York City, and they were going to pay us like, I don't know, like $750. We had to do like 2 guaranteed shows on different stages. There was a million different stages at Woodstock. We obviously weren't on the big stage, but there were stages all over. So like, we're going to get paid and we go to a fucking 3-day concert. This is going to be fucking great. So me, Jim Norton, Rich Voss, my friend Eric McMahon, and I can't remember the other. I know Bob Levy was there, another friend of mine, and a bunch of other comics. We go up there. We stay in the fucking in the performers' tent, so we didn't have to camp out or anything like that. And they had these co-ed showers. It was the greatest thing ever. That most of the people I just went there just basically couldn't shower unless they had a hotel. So they just fucking for 3 days they didn't shower. We were at the performers' tent. They let us stay there, so there was a fucking big shower thing, a big community shower. And one was like, there was one male shower, there was one female shower, and there was one co-ed shower. So like, holy shit, some chicks. I must have taken in 3 days fucking 62 showers. I would just wait in there for a chick, and these fucking hippie chicks would just come in there and shower. I'm like, holy shit. Some of them were hot. Some of them were slobs, but some were hot. And the whole time, that's all we did was just wait. We'd have one guy in the shower, another guy waiting by the door. As soon as we saw a chick, they'd fucking run over. Dude, a chick just went in there. And there'd be like 90 of us running in there. And there'd be like 42 guys and 2 chicks taking showers. But it was embarrassing because when a chick came in there and you were only packing like an inch, you didn't want them seeing you that. So then you have to like turn around and kind of chub it up a little. So you're hanging so it looks like 4. You know, you want to have like a little sogginess to it, a little heaviness. So you're doing that the whole time. It was just really fucking creepy. But the whole thing was so disorganized that we never got to perform. We just found a stage, and I just said, you know what? I want to perform at Woodstock '94. I went on a stage. Everyone was just going up doing jokes. I went on stage. I told one joke and walked off stage. I'm like, I just want to say I performed at Woodstock '94. I told one-liner, about 15 seconds, and then I said goodnight, and I handed it off to somebody else. Told one joke. and spent the rest of the time in the shower waiting for girls to come in. And I wasn't even 16 at the time. This is Woodstock 94. There's no reason. I've seen naked girls before. I saw the police one time at, I guess it was JFK Stadium. Is that what it was called in Philadelphia? Before they tore it down. And I was on the field, and it was a day concert. I remember it was just getting dark, actually. And I met some chick at the concert. There was a bunch of us, and we met these girls, like 6 of them. And we're hanging out, and we're watching them on the field. I'm on the field watching the police. And I'm making out with this chick, and she jerked me off on the field as the police were on, and nobody saw it because everybody was looking at the stage. It was a hit. They were playing some kind of hit or whatever, and she just started jerking me off, and I came on the field at JFK. And the next day, I think the Eagles played there, and I'm pretty sure somebody slipped on my load. Never at a metal concert did I get anything action except for the Scorpions a little making out, and then the chick fucking left me in the dust. But I go see the Police, just a regular rock band, and I get a hand job on the field. There was 50,000 people there. It's beautiful. That shit don't happen now. If that happened then, forget it. I'd be in fucking jail. I'd be on TMZ. Or it'd be all over the place that, a sexual act was happening at a concert. Yeah, that's what everybody wanted to happen. I wasn't a huge fan of the Police, so at least could I get a hand job? Is that wrong? A few years back, I got a chance to open for Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. Jägermeister hired me to be like the host and MC of the tour. I did like 30 dates with them. What they basically wanted me to do was do 5 minutes in between each band, make some Jägermeister announcements, and then do material in arenas between like 5 and 15,000 people a night. And I figure, you know what? What the hell? I'll give it a shot. That's going to be a fucking night. The problem with Slayer was the headlining band. The thing with Slayer is, and I've talked about this on one of my records, one of my CDs, is not even bands want to open for Slayer. Their fans are hardcore. All these guys want to do is just see that band Slayer, and that's it. Slayer fans are 99% angry white males that just like Slayer, and that's it. I've talked to bands like, oh, yeah, we got offered the Slayer tour. We passed because we don't want to deal with their fucking angry fans because they just want to see the headliner. And me as a comic, oh, yeah, I'm going to tell jokes. I'm going to go on stage 3 different times, let alone one. One's bad enough, but now I got to go up 3 different times and do 5 minutes. And 5 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're bombing and it's not going well, 5 minutes could be 2 hours up there. Just imagine you're at a concert in an arena and some asshole's up there talking for 5 minutes between each act. That was fucking rough, but I said, you know what? I want to do it. It's experience. Who knows what will happen? But it was the fucking roughest thing I ever did. Opening for Slayer was almost like emceeing a rape. Because I knew I wasn't going to die, but I knew there's going to be a lot of emotional damage that I'm going to have to deal with for the next 20 years. Because they just wanted, like I said, I go on and do 5 minutes before Anthrax. So Anthrax was the opening band. They go on at like 7:30 or 7 o'clock or something. So I go on at 6:55. There's like 2,000 people in the venue. It was fucking great. They were a great crowd, no one heckling or whatever. And then cut to like an hour and 15 minutes later, I'm going on before Megadeth. Now the venue was like 90% full. And I'm up there trying to tell jokes, and then, I'm barely surviving. And then, by the time Slayer comes on, they want nothing to do with me. They're like, all right, dude, we get it. You tell jokes. Who gives a shit? I'm trying to tell them, look, I work for Jägermeister, fucking drink Jaeger. You got shots over there, whatever, all the shit. I'm like, look, I got to tell a few jokes here, whatever. I would just yell at him. I go, look, this is the deal, okay? I'm not fucking taking any time away from Slayer, okay? They got a set time. They're going on at 9:30. Right now it's 9:27. If I walk off stage now, they're still not coming on for 3 minutes. So fuck off. Okay, if you got to go take a piss, go fucking piss right now. Go get a beer. But I'm going to be up here for the next 3 minutes, whether you fucking like it or not. So just deal with it. Stop being so fucking cranky. You got nowhere else to go. Just relax. I'd have to scream at him. The problem was Slayer had this huge stage show. So the curtain was covering the whole stage. So my last set, I couldn't even be on the main stage. I had to be at the soundboard in the middle of the venue, which made it 100 times worse. So just picture this. Like, Slayer's ready to come on. You know what I mean? You know, behind the curtain, you hear the guitars getting tuned up. Check, 1, 2, check, 1. And the drums, and people like, holy shit, they're getting fucking all revved up. Like, holy shit, they're coming on. It's close. And then at 9:25, all of a sudden, the fucking lights go out, and the place is going nuts. And the spotlight hits me at the soundboard on the floor in the back of the venue. And I'm like, hey, you guys, I'm over here now. And I got fucking 15,000 people turning around going, what the fuck? They're chanting Slayer, Slayer. And then hey, I'm over here, back here. And then all these people turn around and go, you got to be fucking kidding me. Now this asshole's over at the soundboard? What now? The first night I'm getting fucking beers thrown at me. I see missiles coming at me. These fucking big, like 16-ounce beers. I'm up on the soundboard. They're hitting the fucking board. Beer is splashing all over the board. These fucking sound guys are freaking out. I'm trying to tell jokes, dodging beers. Could be like, get the fucking cans. I could see these missiles coming at me as I'm telling jokes, and I'm trying to time it to move away. The next night, these guys are like, look, man, you're going to fucking short out the board. This guy can't be up there. Like, there's no other place we could put him. So the next night, like 5 minutes before I'm ready to go on, that's where most of the families of the band hang out and friends. They watch from the soundboard. So they move everybody out of there. They fucking pull out a tarp like a tsunami's coming. They cover everything up, and they go, get away, get away. All right, go. And then a fucking spotlight hits me, and I got to stand there by myself running around fucking dodging missiles coming at me because I'm trying to tell dick jokes to make a few bucks. By the third night, I go, you know what? I gotta figure something out, man. So they had these like Jägermeister girls, you know, those little fucking, you know, the girls that walk around a bar and they give out shots. Well, in every town, they would hire like local Jägermeister chicks to go, you know, walk around and give out shots and whatever like that. So I said, let me get one of these fucking girls up there with me, and I'll do a shot of Jägermeister, and I'll talk about it, and I'll have her stand there so maybe they won't throw shit at me. You know, some eye candy when it's 99% angry males. You know, some chick dressed in a little fucking skimpy outfit, I might be able to pull this off. So I tell this one, I forget what city I was in. I go, look, you want to go up there? Sure. I go, look, I'll do a shot. You come out with a tray. What's your name? Andrea. I'll introduce you. You know what I mean? And then I'll do a shot, and, you know, have everyone hold up their drinks, and I'll kill some time. And she's like, okay, fine. And she's wearing like a Beyonce necklace. So I'm like, you know Slayer? She's like, no, I don't know this music. I'm not a fan, but they hired me, this agency or whatever. I'm like, all right. I go, all right, look, man, I'm just telling you, I go, these fans are fucking animals. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, so I go, just be, you know, they might be booing or even throwing shit. I don't know. I go, last couple of nights, they were throwing shit at me. So I'm just letting you know. She goes, they're not going to throw anything. She goes, I'm going to be standing there. Like, you know, she wasn't even that hot. You know, she was like a fucking, like a 6, but in that little town, wherever the fuck we were, she's like a 9. But meanwhile, anyway, you walk around New York City, LA, any big city, like, I might bang her on like a Tuesday. But, you know, those 6s in those small towns, you know, are 9s, so they fucking got an attitude. She's like, look, no one's going to, I go, I'm just preparing you. She goes, look, maybe it was your jokes. Maybe they didn't like your jokes. That's why they're throwing stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm like, what a cunt. Right? So we go up there, and I'm like, all right. I go, hey, guys doing? Boo, boo. I'm like, all right, look, man, Slayer's coming up in like 3 minutes. He's got to make a couple of announcements, a few more jokes, and we're getting ready to do it. Give it up for Andrea. She's our Jägermeister girl. Yeah, and they start cheering, you know. I'm like, isn't she hot? Look how fucking hot she is. Yeah. I'm like, all right, we're going to do a shot of Jägermeister right now. Anyone got a beer? Hold it up. Let's do a shot for Slayer coming up in a couple minutes. I do the shot, you know what I mean? It kills some time. Perfect. And then I start going in the material, and I told her, just stand there the whole time. All of a sudden, as I'm telling a joke, I see a fucking, like a 16-ounce fucking plastic cup of beer flying in the air, coming at us. And I'm up there still telling my joke, and I see it, and it just fucking hits her right in the middle of the chest. And just beer goes all in her face and her hair. And the whole crowd's like, ah, going fucking crazy. And she looks at me like I'm going to save her. Like I'm going to say something. And I just looked at her. I go, fuck you, whore. You're on your own. I didn't say that. I just thought that. I went right back into my material as she stood there in tears. What was I going to do? Dude, that's fucked up. Okay, yeah, it is fucked up. But I got 20,000 animals just want me to shut the fuck up and bring on Slayer. I hope it ruined their fucking Beyonce necklace. No reason to wear a Beyonce necklace. There was no reason to do that gig. Like, why would I subject myself to that? To just, people screaming, fuck you, you suck. I remember these, this is a fucking arena I'm playing. I remember a guy in the front row, whenever someone would heckle me, only like, you think about it, it's not a comedy club, so only like 10 people would hear it, just the people around him, maybe 15, 20. I remember this guy was in the front row and he's screaming as I'm trying to tell jokes, you fucking suck, I fucking hate you, get the fuck off the stage, you suck, you're the worst comic, fuck you, you suck, you suck. I'm like, what? And he distracted me so much. I go, what'd you say, sir? He's screaming. So I know that only 15 people can hear him. I go, what did you say? You're telling me that I'm the best comic you've ever seen, and you're my biggest fan, and the only reason you came here is because I was performing? You don't even care about the bands? He's screaming. He's like red in the face. No, you fucking suck, because nobody can hear it. I'm like, give this guy a hand. Seriously, come on, give him a hand. He came here to see me. That's fucking cool. I go, dude, I'm going to be at the merchandise table later. Come on over, get an autograph. Holy shit, that's really cool, man. These bands are better than me, but thank you, as the guy is screaming his head off, and 99% of the venue thinks that guy came to see me. Meanwhile, that guy wanted me dead. It was the greatest because I had the microphone. Nobody can hear him. And I just said, I can't believe you're that big of a fan that you came to see me and not even the bands. Fucking beautiful. But I figured one of the reasons I did the gig, I said, you know what? I'm going to get my name out there. I'll be performing in front of all these people. So I got these T-shirts made up. Right, I figure I'll sell them after the show for like $15 a piece. I'll go to the merchandise table. I'll do like a meet and greet afterwards. I'm like, what the hell? Make a few bucks, meet some people, meet some fans and shit like that. So I got 1,000 of them made because they're going to be on a bus for 30 days, right? I think the first show was in like Seattle or something like that. It was on the West Coast somewhere. I get them shipped out there. It costs like fucking $300 to ship this stuff, okay? I got 1,000 of them out there. And when I get to the first show, I bring them over to the merchandise stand, and I find out if you're an opening act, you're not allowed to sell anything cheaper than the headline band. I had no idea. If I would have known, so Slayer shirts are fucking $35. So anyone that's opening for Slayer cannot sell any T-shirts or any merchandise, whatever. Any T-shirts less than $35. So I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I got 1,000 shirts here. I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll get rid of a few. So picture the merchandise stand, okay? There's like 12 iconic Slayer T-shirts there. All their album covers, different ones like that. There's about 8 from Megadeth. There's 5 from Anthrax. And all the way up in the corner, the left-hand corner, is my T-shirt with my name, Jim Florentine, on it with 4 skulls. And that's it. One-sided, Jim Florentine with 4 skulls. I did the math. I performed in front of 283,000 people on this tour, and I sold 3 T-shirts. 3. That's what that deserves, that silence. 3. So I had 997 left. That was 4 years ago. I still have 672. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the stories. Watch that metal show every Saturday night, VH1 Classic, VH1.com. You can watch the episodes online. I'm going to go play some Body Count. Ice-T's thrash band. 99 Problems, that Jay-Z song, but he did a rock version of it with different lyrics. Check it out. Body Count, 99 Problems. We'll see you next week.
If you're having girl problems, I feel bad for your son. Got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. Hit me.